Hello guys and welcome back to another episode. So today we're going to talk about Vengeance Demon Hunter's Tank PvE guide. So after this video you should be able to tank as Demon Hunter in a very nice way. So we will be going through the stats, talents and the rotation, how you actually play the spec. So first of all we're going through the stats. So the most important stat is agility. So of course all your items probably will have agility except for trinkets and rings, but all of items will contain agility. Agility is of course the most important stat, as it is on all your items. Also you have to keep in mind that the more higher eye level you get, the more agility it will have, but if it's only 5 eye level difference between the items, the secondary stats can actually be more depending on your damage and your self-healing and your survivability. But as usual you should go for the highest eye level, but you can also be in situations where 5 eye level is not enough, but I would say 10 eye level and 50 eye level is always a go, but a 5 eye level can actually be depending on the situation, depending on the stats it has. Beside agility of course it's haste. So haste is the most important, we can say the most important thing you can have. Haste is helping you with more attacks, more damage, more speed. Also you have some cooldowns like Immolation Aura, and also this one here called Fell Blade, for example. If you're talented into that, it will decrease the cooldown effects on it, so the cooldown will be reduced by haste. But also haste helps you get more pain because you deal damage more faster, and haste also decrease, you can say, the global cooldown on your spells. So haste is the first and most important for Demon Hunter tanks. After haste it's actually versatility. Versatility is increasing your damage and healing output. So that means you will be dealing more damage, you'll be healing more damage. And of course Demon Hunter tanks are very much reliable on healing themselves. So in that case versatility is perfect for Demon Hunter tank. After that it's actually mastery. Mastery is increasing when every time you use demon spikes. Well, mastery actually buff demon spikes and also increase your attack power. That means your demon spike will be more powered and your attack power will be stronger, so that means you can actually deal more damage and hold better aggro. And the last one is of course critical strike, but that's not a big thing. It's very normal, like for the Blood Death Knights and also Demon Hunter tanks, that critical strikes is the worst stat you can get. So that was it. It was agility, haste, versatility, mastery and critical strike. Boom. So beside that we're going through the talents. So the first row, Abyssal Strike, is the most important bit on this row here. It's, you can say, the meta one here, and the rest of these two is not worth at all the damage and the situation that you can get help from Abyssal Strike. So that should always be a go-to. The next one here, Fallout, is also the meta. It's the best for the damage and the self-healing, so it should also be, you can say, the meta for you all the time, because Feast of Souls will not heal the same as Fallout can be, and of course Fallout will also scale on the more enemies there's, the more damage it will deal. The next row here, Flame Crash, is actually also the most important one and meta. So you can see these 3 talents here is kind of a must and go to at the moment, because the other talents are not really worth it. Of course if you like the other talents you can do it, but right now as it is, those 3 here is the best one. So Flame Crash, they 100% overrules these 2. On the next row we actually have 2 different things you can choose between. You can either choose between Feed the Demons or Fracture. So Fracture will help you dealing more damage and generate more pain, and it actually helps you on damaging. And of course the more damage you can deal, the more healing you will also be able to bring back to you because of your pain you're generating from the Fracture. But also Feed the Demon is actually, you can say, the best one for overall survivability. So if you want to be able to hold up the best survivability and take the less damage, Feed the Demon is the best one, but Fracture is the best one for damaging. So Feed the Demon is actually making that you can hold up demon spikes a lot more, because you can see here, consuming a soul fragment reduces the remaining cooldown of demon spikes by a half second, and Fracture is basically just giving you more damage. So you can choose between more damage or more survivability. So of course, if you're going into some low thing where you're much more higher eye level, you can of course just take Fracture and deal that much more damage. But if you think survivability would be a good thing here, Feed the Demon would be the perfect one. So in the next row here, on Mythic Dungeons, Sigil Chains is perfect as it does the same as, you can say, Demon Hunter's Grasp. It takes all the enemies together in one big pool. But in almost any other situation, Concentrated Sigils is the best one, as it actually increases the damage and it's much easier for you to place your marks. So Concentrated Sigils increase your marks duration by 2 seconds. That means Sigil of Flame is actually dealing damage 2 additional seconds, and it's probably, as you can see here, if I remove it, it only deals damage for 6 seconds and it deals only 1800. If I take it again, it now deals 2500 damage over 8 seconds. So it's also increasing your damage. So again, if you don't really care about making big nice pools and Mythic Dungeons, you can take Concentrated Sigils for the most damage output. And the next row here, Spirit Bomb is actually kind of a meta, and it's a go-to. Fell Devastation and Gluttony is not worth it all, because Spirit Bomb is so much more better, and it also scales depending on how many mobs you have. So it's going to be your kind of a filler spell together with Soul Cleave that you're going to use, and it's excellent on dealing more damage, holding a big group of enemies, and also healing yourself. The last row here, Last Resort, is kind of I would say the best talent you can take, because this one here can help you your group from wiping. It can save the entire team at combat rest, and it's kind of a situation cooldown that will always help your team if dying. If you're not afraid of dying and you're pretty sure your team will not wipe because of you dying or something, or you have a lot of combat rest ready, Void Reaver is the best passively one, as enemies struck by Soul Cleaver deals 6% less damage to you. So that means you can hold up a buff all the time on the boss, so he deals 6% less damage on you. But again, if you die, you're dead, and Last Resort will kind of help you in any situation. Soul Barrier is a very nice spell. If you're in a situation where there's a lot of magic damage, then Soul Barrier can be a very nice talent if it's a lot of, you can say, magic damage on the boss. But else, Last Resort will be the wish. So the talent spec you can see right now by would be kind of the meta build I would use normally as a Vengeance Demon Hunter. Okay, so now back to the rotation. So the rotation is actually, I would say it's not complex, it's actually quite nice. So the first thing that is most important is you have your spell called Demon Spikes. Demon Spikes is kind of your most important spell that you have to hold up to actually stay alive. So Demon Spikes Surge with Fell Power, increasing your armor by 6000 and your parry chance by 15 for 6 seconds. So you can see you can actually use it one time and one time again, and you can see it will be on, and you will have it on in total of 12 seconds. But the cooldown for each charge is 18 seconds. That means you actually have a window of 6 seconds where you don't have the buff active. So that means it's not like just Blood Death Knight where you just pop on your bone shields all the time. You actually have to use Demon Spike with some mind. You have to use it every time you know, okay, now I will get some huge damage, let's use it. So save it for situations where you actually get high damage, and not just use it every time it's ready for use. But of course, try also to hold it up as much as possible. If your talent into Feed the Demon, every time you consume a Soul Fragment, it will reduce the cooldown a half second. That means you can actually have it much more frequently on you. So that's kind of, you can say, the most important thing, having Demon Spikes on yourself all the time. Super. So also beside that, let's see here. Okay, so let's say this is the boss right now, we kind of want to pull him. The first thing I would do is I would probably charge him with Infernal Strike. Here you go. So now we just attack with Infernal Strike that automatically applies a Sigil of Flame because of this one here. Flame Crash. Infernal Strike creates a Sigil of Flame. That means by dealing damage, 2000 damage with Infernal Strike, and I also applied a Sigil of Flame 3 to him. So how I always start is crashing to the boss, dealing 2000 damage, and also burning him for 2500 damage over 8 seconds. Then you have a pretty neat start. Don't overuse both of your Inferno Strikes. Keep one Inferno Strike in charge all the time, because if you have a situation where you need to go over there or over there, then you have to have one ready. If I just waste them both like this, well, the debuff is not, you can see here the debuff is refreshing, but the problem is that now if I want to go anywhere fast, I'm kind of stuck here and it's not ready yet. Super. So this is how I would, you could say, start the fight. So if we start again here, so Inferno Strike. Then I would also use my Immolation Aura. You can just use it every time it's off cooldown, use it. But keep in mind that Immolation Aura and, well, Immolation Aura here is actually generating pain. So that means if you already have full pain, or you know you will get capped by using Immolation Aura, don't use it. Only use it if you know, okay, I don't have full pain, and when I say pain, it's your energy source up here, you can see in the left corner. So when you don't have full pain, you can actually use it, and it's great for holding a lot of trash mobs. But don't use it if you have full pain, you have to dump some pain down there. And then you have your Shear as your, you can say, your filler spell, so every time you don't have anything to do. But it will also generate souls, and it will generate pain. So now you can see every time I use it, it generates a soul. You can even run into the souls and get healed, but you can also save the souls and actually use them with your spells. So Soul Cleave is your, you can say, your standard pain dumper. So every time you have too much pain, you would normally use Soul Cleave. Soul Cleave is actually a very nice spell. Soul Cleave is dealing, you can say, AoE damage. It's dealing damage to everyone standing in front of you, and also it heals yourself for a very big pool of life. And it consumes up to 2 soul fragments. So if I create 2 soul fragments and now use my Soul Cleave, it actually absorbs them and heals still what it should heal, and it takes the soul fragments and heal myself. If you're talented Spirit Bomb, as I suggest you should, then when you create these soul bombs or soul fragments, then I just consume them all. Then you can use your Spirit Bomb. It will take them all in it and explode. Spirit Bomb is actually the best one for dealing most damage if you have a lot of trash mob on you, or if you have on a boss where you have a lot of, you can say, soul bombs, soul fragments, then it's very great to use. So you could basically say between Soul Cleave and Spirit Bomb, you should use Spirit Bomb for dealing most damage, for dealing most trash damage, and if you have 5 soul shards, soul fragments, Spirit Bomb will be the one who actually deals the most damage with the total. But keep in mind that Soul Cleave is still the one that heals you the most. So if you need healing, I would use Soul Cleave, but if you need damage, I would use Spirit Link in that exceptions, because it also deals much more damage to everyone, but it's very reliable that you actually have some soul fragments active, because if you don't have any soul fragments ready, you can see it's not dealing that much damage. But if I have, let's say here, if I use my Soul Cleave, it will always damage. I didn't see the number. There we go. Well, it will deal 3000 damage, but still the Spirit Bomb is dealing 2000 per fragment, so that means if you have below fragments, Spirit Bomb is dealing less damage, but if you have 5 fragments, it will deal a tons more damage than Soul Cleave. So again, Soul Cleave is the one you will probably just use for healing, but Spirit Bomb will be the one you will be using for damaging, and also it will damage all around you and not just in front of you. So again, let's take it from the scratch. So when I attack an enemy, I would charge him, Immolation Aura, Shear, shear, and shear, until I get up on energy. And now if I need healing, I could probably use Soul Cleave, but if I want the most damage out of all my fragments, I would use my Spirit Bomb, and it explodes for much more damage. So again, get up my soul fragments and use that Spirit Bomb. So again, just so you understand, Soul Cleave, just use it normally if you want some healing, but use, you can say, the Spirit Bomb if you actually want the most damage out of it. So damage, Spirit Bomb, healing, Soul Cleave. And also in your rotation, while you're actually doing all this damaging with your spells, you have to try hold up Demon Spikes, but still only try to hold up Demon Spikes when you know there's going to be most damage, because Demon Spikes cannot be active all the time as it has a big cooldown. So you can see now it's going off and it's ready in 3 seconds. So because of Feed the Demon, I'm almost having it on all the time if I'm actually spending, consuming soul fragments. But still, you will still have a 3 to 6 seconds where it's not on, and it's very important that you don't get a burst window from the boss on you and you don't have it ready, because then you will get pretty fast low, and then you better wish that you have this talent here, or else you're going to die. So again, let's take it here. Charge, Immolation Aura, shear. Let's create those soul fragments for the damage, Spirit Bomb. If you just want heal, Soul Cleave. And then again, Demon Spike, try to hold them up, but hold them up again when it's the best burst window. You also have, you can see, because of this talent here, Flame Crash, every time you use your Infernal Strike, it creates automatically a burning sigil, or what's it called, Sigil of Flame. But you also have an active spell called Sigil of Flame. And you can also of course use that in your rotation if there's a lot of trash mobs, or, well, it doesn't really cost anything. So if you don't have anything to do when you have a free global cooldown to use, you can also use it. And Throw Glaive will also be a filler spell if you don't have anything to do. You can kind of use it. You also have, you're probably thinking, what about Fairy Brain? Should I use Fairy Brain as an offensive spell? Should I use it in my rotation for dealing most damage because it deals 9000 damage? And no, you should use it as a defensive cooldown, because when you use Fairy Brain, it deals a lot of damage, but it's dealing 40% less damage to the branding Demon Hunter. That means the boss will deal 40% less damage to you. So when you know the boss is going to deal a high damage to you, you need to use it. Don't use it as a, you can say, a spell for offensive damage. Use it as a, uh-oh, I'm getting high damage, so now I'm going to use it. Yeah, I think that's summed it pretty much up. So that was the stats, the talents, and the rotation. As you can see in the rotation, not pretty much to do. Main, charge, immolation, shear, and use your pain on either Spirit Bomb for damaging, Soul Cleave for healing, and hold up your Demon Spikes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments on this video, please leave down a comment. Else, I could just say thanks you guys for watching.